What's going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. It's a little stormy outside for me, so if you hear like any crazy sounds going on, that's what it is. I apologize. Now, today's good old Wednesday, and I've decided that we're gonna come up with a new thing here at the To Go Box channel, and we're gonna do Pump It Wednesdays or Pump Day Wednesdays. You know, instead of like Hump Day, it'll be Pump Day. And we're gonna pump our bags every Wednesday. Bro, I gotta blow my nose. 1 second. Whew. Sorry, I have terrible sinus problems. Oh my lord. Deviated septum and all. So, what are we gonna pump today? Well, you guys already know, right? We're all about the flesh and blood right now. We are flesh and blood. So, recently, I made a decent few purchases over the last 2 weeks. We'll say 2 weeks. I sold some crypto like 2 weeks ago, so I put pretty much 75% of it into cardboard, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what I got. Some of it's already been sent to storage. Some of it hasn't shown up yet. I was going to wait to make the video because I think I'm getting more of it today, but I just wanted to get this video out. So today we're pumping flesh and blood. Any sets in particular? Well, let me just I always like, what's his name? Final Trade. I always like, he kind of does like a video once a month, kind of just shows what he's bought. So we'll start March off. This is what I've got so far to start March off with. So we got ourselves a case, a dented case, which I'll make a video about that later, of Tales of Aria First Edition. We got some Monarch First Edition, Bright Lights Uprising, what is this? Everfest case, Bright Lights, Tales of Aria, more Uprising, Crucible Unlimited. And then we got, this is part of the Dynasty that we were able to pick up still under 100. This Outsiders, I think we paid like 90 for this. I have a bit more of it, so Outsiders did drop down to like, you know, it skyrocketed and then it came back down to like 104. So I picked up a few more boxes at 104 for Outsiders. Dynasty, let's talk. We're gonna get into numbers. This is gonna be some in-depth detail stuff. You're not gonna, you know, this is professional, right? Investing talk. Dynasty skyrocketed, right? It was probably the first set that we saw go crazy. Outsiders was the second. I'm assuming most of you know. Well, here, I'm not going to give you the answer, but I'm just going to tell you. Again, and I've said this before, the Flesh and Blood, go to the website. You can see the print runs for all the sets. The biggest key, though, to this graph, this chart, is in the bottom left corner where it tells you that these print numbers represent all languages printed. Now, what set did they start printing in multiple languages? I'll let you go figure that out. Actually, no, you're here. If you're here and you're still watching, I'll give you the answers because most of you click off after like 2 minutes. Outsiders is when they started printing in multiple languages. We don't know, what the ratio is exactly. So even though there's like 168,000 of Dynasty and 169,000 of Outsiders, so there's like 1,000 more boxes printed of Outsiders. We don't know if only 100,000 of those are in English, 75,000. I'm going to say of the 169, I personally think it's somewhere around the 100K. James, don't come after me for speculation. I'm not under any distributors or anything, so you can't cut me off from anything, sorry. And this is good for the game, trust me. So, now while I do think that the singles selection in Dynasty is a lot stronger, I think the singles hit a lot harder in Dynasty, there could be almost half as many Outsiders boxes as there are Dynasty boxes, yet we saw Dynasty. There were people buying them for 190, which I thought was kind of crazy. So, to give you an idea, like, why am I buying Uprising? Because I believe, if we look at the chart, it's like 200-something thousand boxes printed of Uprising. I just think it's cheap, $70 a box. I think the game's growing. And so I don't think, compared to your early printings, I don't think that's too many boxes. So I'm still a big fan of Uprising, just for how cheap it is. And then let's talk about Bright Lights, right? It's probably one of the weakest sets as far as Marvels. I don't think there's a lot of full art, really crazy good looking cards in that set personally. From just what I've looked at, I don't see any amazing cool full arts. However, I do not think this box should be $65. Especially if there are playable cards in it, especially if there are as few boxes that we think there are. And again, I think with things like this, it's going to be one of those things where no one really cares, no one thought about it, until next thing you know, like with Dynasty and Uprising, you wake up one morning and they're almost $200 a box. So if you want me to pump something the hardest, well, I really don't want to. If you're still watching this, I trust you. But I honestly, every time Outsiders like gets around like low hundreds, like 104, I think Outsiders is still the way to go right now. I think that is probably where you should kind of try and start putting a lot of your money, because there really are such few boxes. I think the newer, like, okay, Rosetta, let's talk about Rosetta. God, I'm so upset. I was only able to get 2 boxes of Rosetta, and one of them was completely ripped down the side. So I got like a partial refund. And so I actually ended up opening it, and I hit, what legendary is it? I hit one of the legendaries, I can't remember. But, so at least I got that, and then one of them I still have sealed. So, Heavy Hitters, that's also another one that I think, like Heavy Hitters and Part the Mist Veil. Now, if I'm not mistaken though, we don't know the exact print runs on these boxes. Do we think that they could go back and, I think I had a dream, like I literally dreamed last night that like they announced that they were reprinting all the Flesh and Blood sets. So that's the stuff I dream about, folks. But like I don't think, like I'm pretty sure their whole policy is we won't reprint like cold foils, and I'm pretty sure they added Marvels to that. So I'm not really afraid of in the future if like playable cards get reprinted, because I think the Marvels and the full arts, these cards will hold value with collectors and investors purely on the look alone and not off the playability. I think again, I talk about this a lot, where Flesh and Blood has the perfect mix of like player, collector, and like the investors coming back now. I think it really does have that perfect formula. Again, I really do think Uprising. I really do think Flesh and Blood has the potential to like that longevity and actual collectability. Everything I'm seeing right now is looking spot on. So again, I'm just pumping my bags. I'm just telling you guys to go buy it because I have it. So I want you guys to pump it. Remember, it's Pump It Wednesday. We're trying to pump these bags. So, help me buy a new Lambo. See you guys. Have a good one.